So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about Dream Theater and how to write like John Petrucci and some of his progressive licks. I'm going to be checking out the song Sacrifice Sons today, and this will be an ongoing video series where I talk about a band and then I break down what I hear about one of their parts, and then I try to replicate it in an original way so that you can write your own Dream Theater or John Petrucci riffs. I do want to preface this video by saying you do not have to be the world's master guitarist. You don't need to be sweet picking like no one's business. You don't need to be a full-on shred fest. In order to play what I'm about to show you, it's about an intermediate level. So don't feel bad if you're not at John Petrucci level, because let's be honest, not that many people are. I am most definitely not. So there are 5 different parts to this video. The first part is we're going to watch and listen to the song together. Number 2, I'm going to analyze what I heard in the song. 3, I'm going to take that analysis and I'm going to write a Dream Theater-y sounding part with the knowledge that I got from watching the video. 4 is going to be the overall arrangement and why I chose the different instruments and different parts that I did. Number 5, I will show a video of me playing the entire part. Alright, here we go. So let's break down what was going on in this part of the song. So it sounded like, for the most part, it was in one key signature, but the way you get this kind of chaotic sounding part is by adding a lot of accidentals. So that's something to really keep in mind. I believe that the reason why you keep these accidentals, and just in case if you don't know what an accidental is, if you are playing in a key signature, you know that each key signature comprises 8 notes. So it's when you play a note that is out of key on purpose, which Dream Theater does a lot during these instrumental parts. If you noticed in the video, John Petrucci plays pretty much the exact same thing, palm muted, and then he opens up and plays the exact same thing again with no palm mutes. That is a classic Dream Theater sounding thing to do. John Petrucci is not afraid to use a lot of open strings. So what I mean by open strings is your hand is not on the fretboard, you're just playing the 0. So on this one, you can see him playing the E string 0 a lot. The reason why he does that, or at least I believe the reason why he does that, and the reason why I do it too in my songwriting, is because it makes your fingers easier to transition between different notes. And when you're playing a technical part, it's kind of nice to give your fingers more time to move to the next note that they have to play on the fretboard. So that's super important. It's also a little bit of a cheat, but it's a good cheat. And progressive metal artists, if you're looking to be in the vein of Dream Theater, you should definitely consider doing that with your licks. So this is an interesting one. It's mostly in 4/4. Which I know might bother some people, but the lick is mostly in 4/4. And then what Dream Theater does to spice up their little 4/4 licks is then they do one random measure at the end of their phrase that's just an X over 8. So that can be anything over 8, and they do it as well to make sure that you kind of don't get bored of the 4/4 that they're playing. Also adds tension, of course, because when you add in like a random 7/8 or you add in like an 11/8 when you're doing 4/4, your brain kind of gets tricked a little bit. It's like, whoa, what just happened? And then it goes back to 4/4 again. This part in particular didn't really happen on this song, but it's something that Dream Theater does a lot, so I thought it was worth noting. Once you get your part written, Dream Theater absolutely loves to take exactly what they're playing and move it up a string. So you just basically play the exact same thing you're just playing, but move it up. So you if you're playing the exact same thing on the E string, you can move it up to the A string and then the D string and then G, etc., etc. Let's talk about my original guitar part and why I decided to do what I did. I'm going to try to incorporate as much as I can from what I learned from the video here. So, I decided to use E minor. E minor is really good for standard tuning, which is what my 8-string guitar is in. So don't worry about seeing me with an 8-string guitar. You can still play it on a 6. I chose E minor because every single open string is in the E minor key signature. I wanted to incorporate the open notes and the open strings as much as possible. So that's why I wanted to do that. So then I also decided to pretty much do the exact same formula that I saw in the other song, which is I made a lick where it's 4 measures. The first 3 measures are 4/4. The last measure is an 11/8, and then that repeats. So that pretty much does what Dream Theater does as well. I did what Dream Theater did as well with the palm muting. So I palm muted the first part. I opened up the second part and I threw in a lot of accidentals. So when I play it, I'm going to show you with X's on the screen how many accidentals I used in these licks. So let's talk about the overall arrangement. So I wrote the electric guitar part first because this is an electric guitar driven part. So the arrangement needs to kind of move around what the electric guitar is doing. As far as the bass goes, I did pretty much exactly what Dream Theater did. The bass is playing exactly the same thing that I'm playing. So that's a pretty easy part of the arrangement of this and also the songwriting part of this as well. So just keep the bass playing exactly what the electric guitar is doing. So let's talk about the keyboards next. The keyboards are very important to this arrangement. There's 2 different steps I took to writing the keyboard parts. The first part of the keyboards, so I kept the keyboards also syncopated and playing the exact same thing as the electric guitar, which is also very common in these Dream Theater parts, right? As far as this song goes, there's no harmony. It was just playing what the electric guitar is playing. At the beginning of this lick, or this part, I have the strings playing very low, the exact same notes as the electric guitar and bass. I did that because I don't want the strings to dominate, and it also gives this it also gives a really cool like ominous kind of effect on the bottom. And then as soon as the electric guitar opens up, I add the octave of what is being played. And then that just follows throughout the entire lick, throughout the entire part until like this little lick ends. Very, 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 very common to do that. You don't have to use strings. You can also use piano, like for the syncopation. You can use like a square wave or a saw wave. You can use organ. When you're doing your arrangement for this, like, you know, have fun. Be creative. These instruments don't sound the same. So depending on what you use, you can add like a really cool effect. And I highly, highly recommend you use and write keyboards if you are going for a Dream Theater sound. Thank you for watching the video. I really do hope you learned something, and that if you are a musician or if you're a prog metal artist like myself, then you are able to like use some of these techniques and like maybe use them in your own way to make them like sound like cool and original. But also as well, if you are wanting to just go for that standard like Dream Theater sound in your music, this is one very good way to do it. If you are really enjoying the content, please hit like and subscribe. Leave me a comment down below as well. I also have a Patreon page. It is a top link in my description below. On my Patreon page, I will put the tabs for this for free. Like, you don't need to sign up for my Patreon. They'll just be there. So if you're interested in seeing exactly what I did, I will give you the tabs and the sheet music for it. And I hope to see you in the next video. Bye-bye.